Hey guys, and welcome to the Football Weekly Podcast. Say hello, James.
Hey.
On Green Army away days, James is Range Sub 1872, and this is the podcast. Well, anyway, should we just start talking then? Is that how this works?
I mean, yeah, that's how our podcast usually works.
All right. So we're going to start off with some transfer news. What are you eating then?
I'm sorry, it's a balloon.
It's a balloon. Yeah, we're recording a podcast and you're using balloons. Okay. All right. So first off, then obviously Newcastle, they've lost Rafa Benitez in the week. So they've looked to, reports from the Telegraph says that they've narrowed it down to 3 candidates. They've narrowed it down to Patrick Vieira, Steven Gerrard, and Mikel Arteta. What do you think of that then, James?
One of them kind of annoys me.
Well, obviously, but
I'm not really sure any of them would be the man that Newcastle are looking for. Mikel Arteta maybe, but Steven Gerrard still has a lot of inexperience. Same with Patrick Vieira.
I mean, I agree with you there, but there's also a contradicting article from the Evening Standard saying that apparently Man City have backed Arteta to be the manager if Guardiola leaves in the coming years. So would Arteta go to Newcastle if he already knows that he's got the job at Man City?
That's kind of the question. How many people would actually go to Newcastle if Mike Ashley's their owner?
I mean, it's true, because obviously I think didn't they secure a new record fee of 28 million since Ashley took over, and it's the most they paid since Michael Owen.
Yeah.
Which goes to show really that any manager that goes there will have a lack of financial backing.
But Mike Ashley just doesn't put money into the club.
There was one manager, though, which reports have said that could be going. I think it's the Daily Mail that said this. That apparently Newcastle wants Sean Dyche, which would be obviously a fantastic appointment for Newcastle. But firstly, would Sean Dyche leave Burnley? And secondly, like you say, would he want to go to Newcastle when Mike Ashley's there? Don't get me wrong, Newcastle are a massive club.
Yeah,
but
it's a shame to see Newcastle with Mike Ashley. I think everyone said this at least once. They're too big to be bottom half of the Premier League.
I'm not being funny, but Newcastle should be competing for Europe, in my opinion. They're that sort of a side of the club. Their fans are passionate. They've got the history behind them as well, and it's just a shame to see them struggling. I think Mike Ashley is kind of drilling them into the ground a little bit, but I suppose what they're looking for in any manager will be either somebody with experience on a low budget or somebody that is willing to work under pressure, because he will be under pressure inevitably, considering the lack of support, and with such a big club to manage, you've got that sort of difficulty.
I mean, the thing is, what teams has Patrick Vieira managed?
Well, obviously only Nice, because he's quite new into management, because he only retired I think it was obviously quite a few years ago now, but he's only 43, so he's young in management. So,
I mean, if I was him, I would stay at Nice.
Yeah.
If I'm Steven Gerrard, obviously I know more about Rangers than Nice. You've just made your 8th signing today with Joe Arabo.
Just had to drop that in somewhere.
I just don't see why he would leave to go to Newcastle. I don't see why any of those two would.
I can see why Steven Gerrard would leave, but not now. I would see why Steven Gerrard would go to Newcastle. Don't get me wrong. That if it wasn't now, let's say it was 6 weeks ago, you might have seen a whole different story. I think Steven Gerrard would have been probably top of Newcastle's shortlist, and you might have seen him contemplating going. But obviously now that you say he's signed 8 players at Rangers, he's building his team at Rangers. I don't think he's going to want to leave now that the window.
Also, we all know Steven Gerrard's main managerial dream is to manage Liverpool.
Yeah.
Right. I think right now he's building something at Rangers.
Yeah, definitely.
Because his first season he didn't win anything, but you could definitely see there was a lot of improvement in zone with Kashinia and Merty.
But then would you see Sean Dyche leaving Burnley to go to Newcastle?
No. Personally.
Because I'm just reading about what the Daily Mail said. They said that Newcastle would have to pay Burnley, £10 million in compensation purely to get Sean Dyche in. That's the first strike for me, that Mike Ashley won't want to pay that much money to get a new manager in. But then not only that, but Sean Dyche probably won't want to leave Burnley. And similar to Gerrard, but in a much slower sort of term, I think Sean Dyche is building something at Burnley. Maybe not for the future, but he's building. He's give it 5-6 years. If he's still got Burnley in top flight in mid-table every year, you could argue Sean Dyche could be a legend of Burnley Football Club. Whereas if he goes to Newcastle, he's starting from scraps again.
I think he can join
like
better teams than Newcastle, maybe not bigger teams, because Newcastle are a massive club.
Yeah, Crystal Palace he could go to.
Better teams, maybe beyond England too. Maybe he can go to Spain or Germany.
But then again, obviously, typically you don't really see English managers going out of the country. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with them going out. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be attracted to going to such countries, but you don't usually see English managers going abroad. And if you do, they don't usually succeed. And players alike, really. You have Jadon Sancho now proving him wrong, and Reece Nelson, but you've also got the likes of Ravel Morrison and players like that who have left the English league, went to Europe and failed. So I don't think Sean Dyche would go to Europe, but at the same time I don't think he'd go to Newcastle because he's seen in Burnley as I don't know how to put it. He's just seen late legend already. I don't know what Burnley see him as, whether he is seen as a legend up there. But to me, from seeing it from the outside, Burnley fans do see Sean Dyche as a legend.
I mean, he did get 7th place once, not last season, but the season before that.
Yeah, I think that was their first ever time in Europe as well, which is another honour.
Obviously, it was a bit of an early exit to Olympiacos.
But anyway, we're going off track on Newcastle, but who would you say then would Newcastle's best bet of a manager be? Who would you say is the best manager to take Newcastle forward, replacing Rafa Benitez? Because don't forget, a lot of Benitez's players will also want to leave as well. I've heard Almiron linked with Real Madrid.
Well, it really depends what owners are in. If the Arabian owners come in, Man City's owner's cousin, right?
Yeah.
Then I could see maybe quite a few candidates coming in. But if Mike Ashley stays in charge, then I'm not too sure who they'll actually be able to get in.
Yeah, I mean, if they get, I agree with you. If they get Anu Arab in, they could attract most managers in the world purely because of the money they've got. And, what will be available to them, put it that way. But under Mike Ashley, he'll be a manager out of a job, I reckon, anyway, because they won't have to pay compensation. He'll be a manager, not necessarily low ambitions, but isn't bothered about failure, in my opinion, because he's set up for failure under Mike Ashley.
It won't be a manager who also demands too much wage either.
No, it'll be a championship manager that's lost his job or has recently left his job. It'll be Gary Monk, for example, from Birmingham. Good manager in the championship, but when he was in the Premier League with Swansea, it was a whole different story. Or they might get somebody like, I don't know. I've heard that rumours of Alan Shearer, ex-players coming in as manager, starting off their managerial career there.
I'm not joking. This is unfortunate because, like I said, Newcastle, come on their side, should be at least top 8.
Yeah, definitely.
But I can genuinely see him going down next season.
Well, it all depends what happens in the window. They've got a balance of players that are probably too good for mid-table and probably could walk into a side in Europe. Like Almiron, Dubravka is on the edge of that, in my opinion, and Yedlin has a good couple of years at Newcastle.
Yeah, but now that Rafa Benitez has left,
they'll lose them. And
they might be 10 away from staying at Newcastle.
Because they've also got players that are only Championship standard, in my opinion, like Kennedy, Ritchie. Not both of them haven't done badly in the Premier League. It's just, and I don't see them as Premier League players, especially not Newcastle United.
So
quality.
If Rafa Benitez takes a while to find a job, it's not really the best time to really either cup, because there's not too many, really much managerial doors open. Most teams right now have their managers, and all the managers are getting ready to spend money in the window. Well, other than Chelsea, of course, but.
Well, even then, they still have a. We'll talk about that in a minute about what they've got lined up coming up in the next couple of days. But
I mean, you won't really soon. The only doors, one of the only doors, is like Derby County or a Championship club. But Rafa Benitez is too good for the Championship.
I don't think Rafa Benitez will go. I've heard rumours he's going to China, but I agree with you. There's not many open doors. Managers that are out of a job will probably be desperate to get that Newcastle job now.
My prediction, right? This is a very bold prediction, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think will make it till Christmas as Man United manager.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I could genuinely see Rafa Benitez being a good replacement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
But then would he go to Man United being an ex-Liverpool manager? When you think about it, obviously loyalty in football nowadays probably isn't what it would have been 20, 30 years ago. But
yeah, but
he could walk into any club in the world. He's that much of a good manager. I think any club in the world would look at Benitez without having to pay compensation and go, that's worth a gamble, or that would be a great appointment. I think he could walk into most jobs in the world.
You do see it a lot with players nowadays, there.
Yeah, but I suppose in management it's different because, like I say, Rafa Benitez, he could go to any job in the world. Yes, right, Man United, I know Liverpool fans won't like this, are a massive club, arguably similar level to Liverpool, if not bigger. So obviously it would be an honour to manage them, but
it's the everyday argument: who's the biggest team in England, Man United or Liverpool?
Yeah.
Do you think that the only reason most people turn to Man United is because they've won 13 Premier Leagues?
I think it's 12 or 13, yeah, off the top of my head.
And 20 top division titles altogether?
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah. I don't know off the top of my head, but it sounds roughly right.
That's the main reason people are, especially nowadays. You'd pick Liverpool over Man United any day of the week, right?
Oh yeah, the side that Liverpool's got compared to Man United's side and all the off-field stuff and all that with Pogba and Lukaku, it's a no-brainer. If Liverpool and Man United are both open for a manager like Rafa Benitez, he would choose either one.
But the only problem is for Rafa Benitez is if he wants to join a proper big club in Europe, he's going to have to wait till at least late October.
I mean, he's missed his chance. If it was 6 weeks ago that he announced he was leaving, Barca, Spain, the national team, I mean, there's quite a few clubs looking for a manager at the time. So you would have had that opportunity to pick a team.
Yeah, to really get a good managerial job, like China would show a lack of ambition, I think.
Well, it's money, isn't it, at the end of the day? If he goes to China, he's went there for the money.
Yeah, but I think you also have to look at his managerial career. He started to get back on track because he didn't do too well at Real Madrid, did he? When he was there.
No, I don't think he did.
And then he joined Newcastle. He was pretty much gods to Newcastle fans.
Oh yeah, and he stuck with him in the Championship as well, which is credit to him. But let's move on from a manager that's got a team out of the Championship to a manager that's failed to get a team out of the Championship, but now looks to be going to one of England's biggest clubs in Chelsea, or one of England's top clubs, I should say, is Frank Lampard. He's expected to be announced, well, at the time of recording, I don't know when this goes out, will be tonight or tomorrow, and if he's been announced by the time. But at the time of recording, he's expected to be announced in the coming days. What do you think of the appointment then, of Frank Lampard going to Chelsea?
I think it's a gamble worth taking, but
Yeah.
you can definitely see it going south.
I mean, it's a no-risk job for Lampard if the transfer embargo goes through, in my opinion. Because he's leaving to go to a club where he was a legend anyway. He's then got the excuse that he hasn't been able to sign his own players because he has that transfer embargo in place. And a lot of the top players, that no doubt in my mind about this, if they don't get a good finish this year, you could see like Kante, Willian, Christensen, David Luiz.
But it's one of those, right? Where you could say, well, I would say personally, I think he should have stayed at Chelsea. I mean, not Chelsea, Derby.
Yeah.
But I don't think if you were Frank Lampard, I don't think I could say if I was Frank Lampard, I would stay at Derby.
No, you can definitely
Surely
see why he went.
because he loves Chelsea, Frank Lampard.
Yeah, definitely. Well, sticking along with Chelsea then, I've read today that through a Spanish newspaper that Chelsea and Real Madrid came to a 50 million price tag, I believe, for Mateo Kovacic. So obviously it looks like they're trying to get at least some business done before the decision of the transfer embargo comes back. Do you think that's a good move for Chelsea to go for Kovacic?
I think that's a great move for Chelsea.
See, what I've heard from Chelsea fans, it's a very 50-50 move in terms of the fan base. Some fans are in favour, some fans are not. Some fans aren't in favour. They think with the transfer embargo, it's a chance now to see the players like Loftus-Cheek, Mason Mount.
I think those players will still get a chance at Chelsea.
But then there's so many players in that midfield with talent. It's hard for all of them to get an opportunity.
Bakayoko can also get a second chance, but I think Mateo Kovacic is a really good player.
But Bakayoko is linked to completing a move to AC Milan as well, so I don't think he'll stay at Chelsea.
Yeah, but if he does, then I think.
But you still got so much of that youth talent coming back in from loan, as well as the players you've already got there, as well as the players you might want to sign. You've got so many midfielders at Chelsea.
Yeah, but
it's not only in midfield; it's all over the pitch now. But it's about getting that European quality.
But
obviously Kovacic is. But
I think if you have a chance to improve, then you do it. You know.
Yeah, definitely. 50 million though is a bit of a.
I think if I was going to sign someone, as if I was Chelsea, I would probably try and get a centre back in.
Yeah, they need that. They definitely need a centre back.
For left wing.
Yeah.
It's risky, but I would try and give Hudson-Odoi some game time.
I don't think it's risky. From what I've seen of him last season, and don't get me wrong, I didn't see too much of Chelsea.
No, but
it's he did look fantastic. And you don't get interest in Bayern Munich who are willing to pay 50, 60 million if you haven't got something good about you. And he's English, which I know you're Scottish, so you're not the same impression, but being English in England, you need to see that from the top teams. Like in the Europa League that we watched together, they had, what was it, one English player in the whole of the two starting 11s?
Yeah.
For English size, that's shocking. We need to start seeing this in England. The players coming through that are English into the first team.
I think it is a bit risky though. Sure, purely because he won't give you the same numbers as Hazard in his first 2 seasons.
But then, are you going to be able to sign a player without spending 100 million that'll give you the same numbers as Hazard?
No, but if you give Hudson-Odoi that chance, then I reckon soon enough he'll give you those numbers.
I mean, if Hudson-Odoi doesn't get a chance this year, he's got to go. I mean, for the sake of his career, he's got to go to.
If he doesn't get a chance by January.
Yeah, but then, well, yeah, definitely.
I just disagree that Bayern would probably be. I don't think Bayern would be the best of moves for him. But
no, but I'm just saying it's an example just of what he's linked with at the moment, where he could go. He's just got to look at alternative routes if he doesn't get game time.
Maybe a own move.
Speaking of Bayern Munich, they've reportedly, according to the Mirror, held talk with Barcelona over Ousmane Dembele and his agent as well for Dembele, who is a bit out of favour at Nou Camp, to be honest, isn't he?
Well, it's one I can definitely see happening. I think it'll be a good transfer barn. I think he'd be a good Robin replacement. Not as good as Robin.
I mean, they need to sign two, which is the thing. They need to sign two wingers. But then again, they've also got Nabry, so do they need that other winger to replace Ribery? You're probably only looking at a Robin replacement at the moment.
Yeah. You've also got to look at backup, because if Nabry or if they get Dembele, if Nabry or Dembele get injured, then who are you going to put in the place?
It slightly disappointed me though, because with Dembele, I mean, not Bayern Munich's sort of squad depth, but with Dembele's move to Barcelona, he came in at the same time as Malcolm, and I remember at the time thinking, Dembele, he's got some great talent, he's going to progress brilliantly at Barca. I think we're now a year down the line, and if anything, he's taken a step backwards from his move from Dortmund, because it was obviously a bad move in the end, as we found out, because of Coutinho and Messi being ahead of you. You're not going to come into a first team, which is probably what he needed.
Because I thought the start of the season, he was playing amazing. He was getting picked over Coutinho. Yeah. And eventually, Coutinho was the one finding his way back into the team. I think Dembele should look at this move, especially if Neymar goes back to Barcelona.
I think that's partly why Barcelona want to get rid of him, personally. Is to be able to afford that massive price tag they have to pay for Neymar.
If Neymar goes back to Barca, then his Barca career is Ousmane Dembele's, Barca career is over. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you could argue that about Malcolm's as well, or even Coutinho's. I've heard that Coutinho could be going on a swap deal for Neymar. I reckon they'd keep Coutinho because he can also play an attacking midfield role.
Yeah.
Which personally, I think that could be his best role. I'm not too sure.
I mean, Man United, Barcelona are having a massive clear out this window. They've already sold Sillerson, but they signed Neto today, so in his replacement. Basically, just doing a swap with Valencia for the two, but obviously not in terms of money wise. They're also reportedly looking at selling Umtiti. Semedo reportedly they haven't said that they're wanting to get rid of him, but reportedly that could be an open move for some of Europe's big clubs if the money was right. Rakitic is linked with a move out. Coutinho's linked with a swap deal with PSG. Dembele, Malcolm linked with a move out. But then Barcelona, I think they're all doing this to get Neymar. Realistically, that massive price tag, they might have to sell their top players that are around 50-60 million a piece.
I don't think it's going to be absolutely massive though, purely because Neymar, like the president of PSG, isn't that big of a fan of Neymar.
But then he has said he won't let him go for any less than the £222 million which they signed him from Barcelona for a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but Barca's is already near having that money. I don't think they'll have to have a complete clear out.
Well, I'm only going off of what the rumours I've read on the newspapers. Because obviously
I think Ousmane Dembele alone would probably get them around £80 million.
There was one story which suggested it was an outrageous rumour, really, but I think you brought it to me about the three players from Barcelona. I think it was Umtiti, Dembele, and one other Rakitic, all plus 100 mil, all for Neymar, which would have been ridiculous. He's not worth that much, in my opinion.
Well, purely because your PSG are really only winners there, because Dembele himself is probably worth 80
Dembele, although right away you won't have the same talent as Neymar, eventually he will be as good as Neymar. In my opinion, he's got the potential. Maybe not as good as Neymar. He can do the job that Neymar can do.
Yeah, he might not be as good.
Probably to Di Maria's quality when he was in his prime at Real Madrid. That's probably where I see Dembele peaking.
Yeah.
At that sort of level. Maybe not Neymar's. That's a bit of a stretch, but yeah.
But I think PSG are the real winners there, because Dembele already worth 80 mil.
Yeah.
Umtiti, you would probably say around 60 to 70. And Rakitic, you'd probably say 30 to 50.
I'll probably even put a little bit more on than that for Rakitic, to be honest. I'm quite a big fan of Rakitic at Barca. But anyway, we are... so Man United. We're going to move on to talk about Man United now. So first off, the two Manchester clubs, Man United, Man City, they've been battling reportedly since January for Harry Maguire's signature. But today we learnt Man United have had to pull out of it, pull out of even discussing with Leicester by the looks of it for the player, because they've demanded 100 million. And to me, it just seems like it's getting more and more expensive for any club. It went from 50 to 80 to 100.
For me, it's a bit ridiculous.
I would have paid 50. 80 is too much. 50 probably is a top. I like Maguire. He's a hard-working centre-back. Can play the ball out very well. Great with his head. Great in the air. Great tackler. But he's not worth more than 50 million. He's not worth more than 50 million.
I think Brandon Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Undeniably, he's a very good manager.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a big fan of his transfer. But actually, the transfers he makes are very good. But the prices they demand for the players going out, like he wanted £50 million for Kieran Tierney.
He's always. I like Tierney, but obviously he's not 50 mil. But then again, that's just to scare teams off, isn't it? Really, you see it quite a lot. Teams asking for a lot of money.
He originally wanted £40 million for Ousmane Dembele until Dembele demanded that he left Celtic, and then it was like 18 mil.
You mean Moussa Dembele?
Yeah, Moussa Dembele. I mean,
but then
talk about Ousmane Dembele like 10 minutes ago.
Not all hope is lost for Man United, though, in terms of the window, because although they might not be able to sign Maguire right now, because most likely it's because they don't have the money. I think is the most logical explanation for it. They have got two deals that look like they could be close to happening, which would drum up, I reckon, close to nearly 200 million. So the first one is Lukaku to Inter Milan for a reported £54 million after a 2-year loan spell. And then also Paul Pogba, which we'll talk more about the Pogba to Juventus story, but Inter Milan Antonio Conte wanting Romelu Lukaku for such a big fee after a 2-year loan spell.
Do you want to know what I would do?
Well,
I would say you could have Romelu Lukaku, but we want Lautaro Martinez.
I don't get me wrong, I like Lautaro Martinez, but he's not. See, I always think in my head of Man United being that big team. As when I was younger, they were always the best team. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, they were always the team.
They always any top team, any top player, realistically would be delighted to play for him. Lautaro Martinez, for me, doesn't fit into that bracket of what I call a Man United player. Obviously, nowadays,
But then you also have to look at it. He's 22 or 23, quite young.
Yeah.
Didn't have the best of season at Inter Milan, but he still did all right. He's not a bad player. And I think if you give him a chance at Man United, I think he would do well.
The price for me in this deal isn't the issue, because if anything, I think it's being generous after Lukaku's time at Old Trafford to give 50 million for him. But if you look at the 2-year loan deal before, is that the best Man United? They're getting paid 9 million to let him go out on a 2-year loan spell, reportedly. And then Inter will give them 53 million at the end of that loan spell.
See, me personally, I would give them a max 1-year loan. I wouldn't max 1-year loan, but I wouldn't have even given them a loan deal. I would just say, well, if you want Lukaku, just pay it straight up.
I mean, with a report suggesting that Man United are really keen on Maguire. You would think they just want to take the money and run on Lukaku.
Yeah.
Like,
If you take the money and run, you also have to. Well, obviously, I think then Marcus Rashford's your starting striker.
Which it wouldn't be too bad for Man United from what I've seen of Rashford to have him as starting striker.
But I mean, there's also still a lot of problem. Even if they get Maguire in, right?
Yeah.
So, you get Maguire in, that's one centre back. Then, if they get Aaron Wan-Bissaka in, which might be a bit of trouble if they go and sign Maguire, but you got him in, you still probably need a new left back. You probably still need a new left winger if Martial wants to leave.
Well, Paul Pogba. Okay, we'll come to the incomings in a minute because there is a fullback and a player which would play in Martial's position linked with completing a move. Paul Pogba, Juventus want him. Man United demanded some ridiculous fee. I think it's something 100 million plus. But according to Corriere dello Sport, Juventus have asked their kit sponsors and Paul Pogba's sponsor, Adidas, to help them pay for the fee to sign Man United's Paul Pogba. Which obviously is outrageous for a fee. Don't get me wrong, Pogba's a brilliant player. But I don't think I've seen this very often, where a club's actually asked their sponsors to pay for them player. Or, support and sort of give them money for a player.
See, if I'm Juventus, I wouldn't even go for Pogba. Me personally, I would try and get Matthias de Ligt in as the first thing.
Well, Matthias de Ligt, actually, if we're on about Juventus for a couple of seconds, he's accepted a contract from Juventus. And now Juventus are going to meet with Ajax to try and secure a £70 million deal for him at the moment.
Alright, well, he'd be my first target.
Yeah.
If you can get Pogba, then go for it. But I feel there's other midfielders they can go for.
Well,
that could be cheaper.
Sorry for interrupting, but one of the midfielders that they've, I don't know if he's signed yet or they're in contract phases, is Adrian Rabiot.
Yeah.
Who would
on
be
a free, isn't it?
Pardon?
On a free as well.
Yeah. Out of contract at PSG. So, although Rabiot can be lazy at times, he's got a little bit of an attitude problem on him. The attitude problem won't be anywhere near as bad as Pogba's starters. And he won't. I think with Sarri being as good as manager as he is, he could snap that lazy spree out of Rabiot. So do they need Pogba? I don't think they do, especially for the money it's going to cost them. Signing Ramsey.
I think there's always better options than paying that much money.
They've already signed Ramsey on a free. They look to sign Rabiot on a free. They've already got Matuidi.
And Emre Can.
Miralem Pjanic. Do they need Pogba? I don't personally think they don't. I really personally don't. To me, Pogba's a luxury. You don't need him. He's not important. Like for Man United last year, key part, engine in the team. But do you need to pay 150 million? Is he going to be that important to your season that arguably you're going to waste 85% of your budget on him? I don't see the logic behind it. Man United did it for 90 million, I think, to sign him in the first place. But where's the logic?
Yeah.
You waste. Obviously, he's a good player. I want to make it clear. I don't think he's a bad player, but he's not going to be that important. You pay 100-odd million for him. What a waste of money, in my opinion. It's just a waste of money.
Especially when
you could get as equally as good player like Rakitic, similar level to Pogba, like we've discussed already.
You could
probably
also
only cost 50 mil.
You could probably put Paulo Dybala in just behind the striker instead of him playing as the right winger.
Yeah, they've got Douglas Costa, they've got Cuadrado, they've got Ronaldo.
I think
they've got Higuain.
Even if they didn't want any of a good right winger will be cheaper than Paul Pogba.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to Man United's incomings, where we've kind of came off track a little bit. So they have obviously came out the running for Harry Maguire, but quite a highly rated player this window, wanted by quite a few top European sides. Bruno Fernandes, according to TalkSport, his agent, will be meeting with Man United over trying to complete a £70 million move for Sporting Lisbon.
Well, for Man United, it'd be a great signing now.
I mean, it's great for both parties. Obviously, Sporting losing a good player, but look at the money they're bringing in for him.
Yeah.
They look at what they could do with that. And I think Fernand's got some good talent on him as well. And obviously quite popular news because of all the to and throwing over it. Aaron Wan-Bissaka reportedly has had a deal between Crystal Palace and Man United, agreed to $50 million.
Yeah.
What do you think of that then?
I think he's probably going to be the starter over Ashley Young. I think he's a good signing, young player.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's similar level to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Maybe Trent is just a bit better, but similar level, I would say.
I mean, I saw some stats for Wan-Bissaka. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Sorry, but he was like the most successful clearances in the Premier League last season, most successful take-ons last season, and I just think Antonio Valencia. I'll go back to when I was a couple of years younger. Antonio Valencia, to me, was always one of the best right backs in Europe a couple of years ago, especially under Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka for me is a perfect placement for him. Ashley Young, Solskjaer's got that all wrong. Trying to put Ashley Young in that position, replacing injured Valencia. He's got that all wrong. It's for me, Wan-Bissaka has the perfect balance of pace, technical ability, and defensive ability.
You can't really blame Solskjaer for putting Ashley Young at right back. He didn't really have much option.
I mean, Darmian's not brilliant, but Darmian is better than Ashley Young. Darmian would have been a better option.
That's still up to opinions.
Well, obviously, most things are. Most people won't agree with me that at a couple of years back, Valencia have been up there one of the best right backs in Europe. But
me personally, as long as you don't see Ashley Young playing right back again often for Man United, obviously, if he plays in the Carabao Cup match against Bristol Rovers or City, or a team like that, and you won't really look at it too much. But if you really see Ashley Young getting picked over Wan-Bissaka in Premier League games, then you kind of look at that and go, well, you have the option to play Wan-Bissaka now, and you're just playing Ashley Young in a position that he doesn't really play.
You said just a minute ago that Man United need a left back and a centre back. Out of the rumours that we've heard, Maguire's the only left centre back, and I don't think I've really seen many other high-profile signings that Man United have been linked with in terms of centre halves.
From Man United, I genuinely might look at Alexandre Ronaldo from Benfica, good young left back.
Yeah, that would be a good sign. I'd even consider it's a very out of the box signing, but I think it would be a good one because I think me and you were actually discussing this the other day. David Alaba.
Well,
I think we were discussing that he could be on his way out of Bayern Munich.
Yeah, because you can genuinely see it now, especially with Lucas Hernandez at Bayern now.
Like, surely that, to me, would be better than spending 100 million on Maguire, spend 60 million on Alaba and 40 million on, I don't know, just trying to think of a centre half now that Man United could sign. I don't know, 40 million on, just to be stupid. Kimpembe probably wouldn't join Man United, but we're just using an example.
Well, someone who I think's a bit underrated is Nacho from Real Madrid.
Yeah, I like Nacho.
I think he would do a job. I think he would join Man United because obviously he's not usually the starter at Real Madrid. I think that'd be a good signing for them.
Yeah, I think Nacho would be a good signing. And lastly, we'll end this transfer section talking about PSG. Obviously, lost Buffon out of contract. Buffon's going to Juventus, most likely anyway. But PSG obviously now have to replace a very good goalkeeper in Buffon. So they have yet again they look to be looking in Italy, and they're looking at AC Milan keeper Donnarumma for a reported 46 million. She's obviously.
I think that's a cracking sign, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just about to say, which is obviously a brilliant signing. 46 million as well for me. Although for a goalkeeper that's quite expensive. That's a relatively good fee to pay for him.
So if I'm AC Milan, I might be actually looking for a bit more.
Well, considering his age and the potential he carries, you could be looking at 50 plus.
If I'm AC Milan, personally, I'm looking for around 60 mil from PSG.
Yeah, I would say that's, for me, I'd probably be looking, if I was PSG and I was looking at Donnarumma, I'd stop spending at 65. That'd be the highest I'd go.
Yeah.
I don't think Donnarumma's quality, but it's a goalkeeper. And although I think goalkeepers don't get enough praise for what they do, you don't fork out a world record fee for a 20-year-old as such. And actually, no, that's not a way to put it. What am I trying to say here? You don't try and battle with a world record fee, in my opinion, for Donnarumma yet.
Yeah.
See, he's had 2 years AC Milan. If he comes to PSG and flops, he'll probably get another big.
If I was in charge of AC Milan's transfers, my asking price for a team outside Italy would be 60 mil. My asking price for a team in Italy, say Juventus wanted him or something like that. My fee then would be per around 90, something
just
like
gotta
that.
Stop. Yeah, because you got to stop Juventus.
You never want a team in your country getting hold of one of your best players.
Juve's the only team that's going to be able to do it. Afford it. Sorry, the sort of fee that AC Milan will demand in Italy. I mean, maybe Napoli at a push, but I don't see many teams in Italy being able to afford 60, 70 million for a goalkeeper.
I do think that it would be Donnarumma would be a good sign for PSG though. If we talk about Juventus for a minute, right? They're gonna have to sell Perrin or Chesney, right? Because if you got Buffon coming in, right?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be your starting goalkeeper or backup? He won't be third choice.
He won't. They got Chesney and Perrin right now, obviously.
I think Perrin will be gone next season. I reckon. Well, this is what I think. Perrin will be gone next season. Buffon will be backup. I think Chesney will still be the main man, to be honest.
Is he too good to be backup though? Is he still got the quality to come in and be first team? But obviously Chesney's just had a very good year for you, though.
I reckon.
So it's that sort of, do you drop somebody that's just had a very good year and bring in a legend and a world-class keeper? Or do you keep Chesney and make a legend and world-class keeper be your backup?
See, I reckon they'll probably make Chesney play most of the game. I reckon Buffon will play the group stage games of the Champions League for Juventus.
Yeah.
And I reckon he'll play one, and he'll share one leg each with Chesney, I think, for the Champions League. Unless it's like semi-final and you're, 1-0 down or 2-0 down after, Buffon's just went and conceded. I mean, Chesney's went and conceded 2. You'd probably just keep Chesney in it because I reckon he's probably now a better goalkeeper than Buffon.
Alright, so now we've finished talking about the transfers. Let's start talking about the tournaments that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. We'll start off with the Under-21s European Championships. Have you been watching any games?
See, I've watched the highlight of England's games against France and Romania.
I've watched a few. I think I've watched the game against Croatia's highlights, and I've watched the full game of England-France. Is all I've watched, I think.
And from what I've seen of England and the Brandon England through Romania, I don't see what all the England fans are talking about when they say they've got a world-class future, right? But, against France, the 2-1 defeat, I think, flattered them a bit. I don't think they were good that game. And against Romania, I would say I felt it was a deserved 2-1 win.
It was 4-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4-2.
Yeah. Oh, see, I'm not making excuses for the England side, right, in this, before you accuse me of doing that. But if we look at the quality we've got in that team as individuals, it's an amazing side. If you look at individual players by themselves, Phil Foden, Wan-Bissaka, Dean Henderson, Tomori, etc., they're individually good talents, right? In that tournament, again, not many excuses for bad performance, but Wan-Bissaka obviously has had his head turned most likely over the last couple of weeks with all the speculation with Man United. And obviously the own goal he scored against France was embarrassing, to say the least. And obviously I can't really make the excuse for everybody, but to be fair, England just simply weren't good enough over the tournament as a team. Like I'm trying to say, I think individually England have got some fantastic talents coming up in the future.
Well,
it's about turning them from individuals to a team.
Yeah.
And that's what under-21s, under-18s, under-17s is all about. You might be an amazing youngster. This is preparing you to go into that first team national team, senior national team. And they've got to just get out of this idea of I'm a individual. Like Phil Foden, he's been playing at Man City, but when he went to England, he had a couple of good games for him, but he wasn't really spectacular. But for Man City, you can see the player that he really is because he's playing as a team there. But for England, they weren't looking like a unit. They were literally looking like they were all there for themselves in that tournament.
I think we'll talk about this more in another podcast when there's a national break or something. But I think both English, all English teams, but the women's team, I think the women's English team is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think especially the first team of England, the men's.
Yeah.
I think they are very highly overrated.
Oh yeah, definitely. And again, it comes down to individuals again, though, isn't it? I think that's what people look at when they're looking at sides. Because if you look at Sterling, brilliant player at Man City, but it's a difficulty with national football, international football. I'm not a fan of international football. But when they go into England, they don't look like a team. Sterling for Man City it looks like it's easy for him at times. For England, he actually has to work because he doesn't have. You know, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. To be honest, I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm trying. What I'm trying to say is, it's different going from looking at the individuals players like Neymar, individual. When he was working with Messi, Suarez, Neymar, that front three was deadly. When he went to PSG, for me, he just lost all the stink because he's an individual player. I'm trying to say something. I don't know if it's coming across, but the same as at any level. You've got individuals, but that's the difference between teams like France and Brazil. You can play as a unit, as a team, and get the results. And you got teams like England and all that are full of individual talent. Kane is an individual. Sterling, individual. Sancho, I was a bit early to call on his career at the moment. I don't know if you're getting my point here, but...
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I spent way too long trying to explain that, but...
Should we move on to the next thing?
Well, I'm just going to end on the under-21s just saying that Germany under-21s knocked out the Romanians 4-2 in the semi-final. And tonight, the time of recording this, obviously when this podcast goes out, the listeners already know the result anyway, but Spain and France take on each other tonight, which I might go and watch later on anyway. Let's catch second half for.
Got any predictions?
Well, I reckon, based off what I've seen, France under-21s will go through. France, sorry. I don't need to put it in 21, but then.
Based what I've seen, I've not actually seen much. I'm just going to take a wild guess and go France to go through.
It's just, see, my thinking is, in this tournament, I've only seen France play out of any team in that four. Right?
Oh, well, I've seen Romania, but obviously they're gone now.
And Spain, I know they've got a good side, but after seeing France against England, the way they managed to turn that deficit around, they just look like a very good side when they play England. So that's just the sort of angle I'm taking. But so let's move on to the Copa America. So if we look at the Copa America now, there's been some, let's just say, interesting results in this tournament.
I've seen some of the results.
I've watched quite a bit of this one actually, in the Copa America, mainly because there's no other option really, but it isn't. It's a good competition to watch. It's a shame that the times that it's on is quite an awful time. But one result which baffled me, which I don't know whether you knew about, Brazil drew with Venezuela. I think it was 0-0.
Yeah.
But they had 70% possession in the first half, only registering one shot on target. In the second half, had 21 shots, and still couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Still ended up top in their group, but obviously that's not good enough when you think of Brazil. Brazil, you expect to be the best.
Yeah, well, another game that I feel that, then Argentina, who's in 2-0 to Brazil in the first game of the group stage, right?
I don't think it's Argentina that was in Brazil. Colombia, I think you're on about.
Yeah. Argentina who's in 2-0 to Colombia. Argentina has 13 shots to Colombia's 8, which isn't the odd thing. Right. The thing is, Argentina has 6 shots on target compared to Colombia's 2.
Yeah, I watched that game because, I was just interested to see how the opening game panned out. And to be fair, it was a very boring game. Nothing was happening. I'm not going to shy away from it. I turned it off after a while because I was just getting bored of it. It's literally nothing was happening really in that game. So I turned it off, looked on the next day, and was it 1-0 or 2-0?
It was 2-0 into Colombia. They scored they scored with both of their shots on target.
Yeah. I was quite shocked to see 2-0, but I have to say, from the bits I did see, Colombia were the better side. But it's funny really, because Brazil and Colombia, I'm just going to have a little look at the other groups while I've got it up in front of me. Oh, the other groups, sorry. Colombia and Brazil are the only team to leave the group stage not conceding a goal. So I don't know whether has the knockout stages kicked off yet. I'm not sure. I think the knockout stage just started, I believe.
Yep. The quarterfinals will be Brazil v Paraguay.
So that's first in Group A against third in Group B.
Venezuela versus Argentina.
That's second in Group A against second in Group B. For anybody that doesn't know again.
Colombia versus Chile.
First in Group B against second in Group C.
And Uruguay versus Peru.
First in Group C against third in Group A.
Personally, if I was going to pick a team who would win this, I'd go Brazil.
I'd go Brazil. They've played very well throughout the group stage, statistically, and I haven't really seen them except for statistics. But considering they've scored the most goals in the tournament and conceded the least, they've got to be firm favourites to become winners of the tournament.
I think Colombia could go on a run. I think getting out of the groups, getting out of the ties will be Uruguay, Colombia, Argentina, and Brazil.
To be fair, Chile, alright, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Chile's been in some cracking form. I've watched, I think, 2 of their group stage games. And Alexis Sanchez for Chile, and a couple of others, he's been on top form. Considering Man United, he's been so poor. For Chile, I think he scored 2 in his opening 2 games in the tournament. I don't know if he scored in their third. But he's been on fantastic form for Chile. So that's, for me, Chile are the dark horses. I think they're holders from the last Copa America.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to consider Chile as one of the favourites.
That's like that's
but I don't know who did they have in the quarterfinals?
Colombia.
Well, see, that's a difficult tie to call because both of them, for me, are similarly matched sides.
Yeah, and I'll just go through both sides' results so far. Colombia beat Argentina 2-0, then beat Qatar 1-0, and then beat Paraguay 1-0.
Chile have lost a game, but other than that, won the other 2.
Whilst Chile beat Japan 4-0.
Yeah, that was one of the games that Sanchez played well.
Ecuador 2-1.
And they lost to Uruguay.
And then 1-0 defeat to Uruguay.
See, Chile, those results sound promising for Chile. I think I've seen them twice, like I say, in the tournament so far. And it was the game, and I think it was the game against Ecuador.
It would be probably going to be the closest game out of all of the quarterfinal. Well, I think Peru could give Uruguay a game, but I'm going to go Colombia to edge it.
I think Brazil. It's got to be between Brazil, Colombia, and Chile for me. I'm not even going to pretend I have. I haven't seen much of Uruguay in this tournament at all, so I'm not really the expert to say whether they've been performing well or not. But based off of what I have seen of Uruguay in recent years, they can beat some of the other teams that have progressed through the group stage. So that's what. So pick one team then. Who's your one team to win the Copa America? And maybe by the next podcast we'll see whether our team is still in the tournament. I'm gonna go for my dark horse, which is Chile. I'm probably gonna regret doing it. I'll probably get it wrong, but I think Chile will go on to win it. So now, the African Cup of Nations.
I'm not gonna lie. I've not even seen a game of that.
See, I've been watching all the highlights of this because I quite like the idea of having such smaller sides going through. Competing in a tournament because obviously you know, James, but I'm not a big fan of big teams playing each other. So this tournament was perfect for me anyway to tune into. So the team I've been really impressed with so far, I have to say, has been. I'd probably say I've been quite impressed with. Let me pick. I've been quite impressed with Mali. They've only played one game, but they did win 4-1 against Mauritius.
Yeah, just looking at the result, a 4-1 win.
I did watch those highlights, and I've watched most of the highlights in this. Obviously, it's not the same as watching the full game. But
obviously, there's a game happening right now: Algeria and Senegal. Algeria right now leading.
Yeah, 1-0 Algeria.
70 minutes in.
Obviously, that's quite a big result for the Group C, where both of those two won their opening games. It gives Tanzania and Kenya a chance to get back into opportunity to qualify. But yeah, definitely this tournament, if anybody isn't actually watching this, it's definitely worth what. Now, over the weekend and into next week is when it's really going to start getting interesting, when teams are going to start wrapping up those spots. I know Egypt has secured the last 16, and I know Nigeria have, but I don't think any other, no other team have actually secured going through. So the next couple of days are going to be very big.
One team that I could look at, right, that I could look at is Senegal. I think they've got some very good players. Ghana Gay, Keita Blade, Koulibaly.
Yeah, they've got a good team on paper, but I'm going to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of them in the last game on the highlights. They looked a bit sloppy, but also, like I say, it's different to watching the full game when you watch a 3-minute highlight.
They did pick up well, actually, you say this, right? I've just looked at the stats now from their 2-0 win against Tunisia, right?
Tanzania.
We all know they're not the best team. But they started their 24 shots compared to the 3 from Tanzania. Sorry, I don't know how to read. They had 10 shots on target compared to Tanzania. 36.
It's actually Tanzania, but
468 passes. The pass accuracy was 84%. Corners 6.
Yeah, but I'm on more about their passing. Not passing, sorry. Their defending, sorry. When obviously, like we said, Tanzania aren't a great side, and I think coming into the tournament, especially given the group that they've got, nobody's expecting Tanzania to do well. But that's probably what let Senegal get away with a 2-0 win, is because a lot of their defending was, how to put it, it wasn't winners' material.
No.
It wasn't somebody who I'd say to go on and win the tournament.
Another team that I could see winning it is Nigeria. Only did pick up a 1-0 win, but they do have. It does look like they do have a squad that can go and win it.
I think it'll be between Nigeria, and I'm going to throw. I like to pick dark horses, so I'm going to do 3 winners, but I'll only pick one for just the sake of saying one team. So I agree with you. I think Nigeria will win it, because if you look at their group, they're already qualified. They've had a pretty simple group. But the dark horse I'd like to throw in is Mali. From their opening game, looked brilliant. Yes, right. Again, it was only against Mauritania, but they did look another class above with their side. Now, I would also like to say that Egypt could stand a chance of winning it with Salah.
I was thinking about
El Mohammadi. They've got decent, not obviously material to go into a World Cup and be excited about, but in this tournament, against, no disrespect to any of the sides of the tournament, against teams like Mali, Burundi, Guinea, you don't really need the players capable of going to challenge for a World Cup, or that you'd be excited to see. It's a chance for these teams to show up and win a piece of silverware for the country, and I think it's a good tournament to watch. So, anyway, now going over from male football to women's football. Now, I have been watching a little bit.
I actually watched one of the Scotland games. It's a game that they got knocked out of the group, right? Yeah, that game.
Yeah.
Obviously, and there was a bit of dodgy VAR decision.
Yeah, I saw that. But speaking of VAR, it's been quite a focal point of this tournament. For example, we'll go to the England-Cameroon game. 15 minutes was spent on VAR in that game. I think it was 2 or 3 goals were ruled out. There were fights, spitting on players, pushing referees. Obviously, I'm going to pretend I'm an advocate for women's football, but I'm not against it either. But it isn't really demonstrating women's football in a positive light. for especially Cameroonian football as a whole.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter if it's women or males.
Yeah, women's
major
football
tournament.
is growing. That's the thing.
You come into a women's football tournament, something that's, like you say, is growing in popularity. People are starting to get interested in it now. Which, not saying they weren't before, just before I get slaughtered for that. They're just getting more aware of it now.
Well, I think if you compare the last attendances in the last Women's World Cup to this Women's World Cup, I think you'll see a great improvement in there.
But if you have a team like Cameroon, they're representing their country at the end of the day. In the CONCACAF, is it CONCACAF? I can't remember. I was going to call it the African Cup of Nations. I think it is called CONCACAF, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to call it African Cup of Nations. It's probably the only competition their men's team are going to be able to win. So for Cameroon women's team to get to the World Cup is massive for their country in footballing terms.
Yeah.
Right? But then, if you look at the sort of way that the Cameroonian women's team have went around the World Cup, it's disgusting. It doesn't matter if you're Cameroonian, Brazilian, English, Scottish, or Japanese. You don't go to a major tournament, especially a major tournament, or any game, friendly tournament, anything.
And once again, it's not saying that women's football isn't big, but this is really the time where you need it to start growing. When you're having antics like that on a pitch, it turns a lot of people off.
I don't know how many of the people that will listen to it. I don't even know how many people will actually listen to this, but we've seen referees pushed, an English player was spat at, and if that was in the men's game, and then that would have been a ban. And it's not attacking women's football in any way, shape or form. But it would have been an act to get you banned in the men's game. You wouldn't have been able to stay on the pitch in the first place, let alone play in the next game.
Yeah.
And again, I want to be clear, I'm not attacking the women's game or women's football, but it might be something. I'm not going to say it's a women. It might be something to do with the standard of refereeing, which then it's a whole other debate which we could have on another podcast about VAR. But so is VAR actually working, or is it the referee standards when VAR isn't involved that's causing the issue? It's such. But I think something needs to be sorted out. Obviously, I think FIFA has launched a investigation into their behaviour of Cameroon in that game. So we'll see what happens there anyway in the next couple of days. What
would be your prediction for the World Cup?
Well, that's what I was just about to get to, is the games, the quarterfinals, when
Obviously,
I can get them.
Norway versus England.
I think
is today.
I saw Norway against France. Was it France? Yeah, France. They didn't look too shabby, but I also saw England in this tournament. They're not looking too bad either.
It's today at 8 o'clock.
But I think England will go through against Norway. But the other teams in the tournament that's left.
France versus the United States.
The two best teams in the tournament for me.
Italy versus the Netherlands. And Germany versus Sweden. Me personally, I would go with the United States to win the World Cup.
Going through the games that are in the quarterfinals, right? Norway, England, very close tie. Both, I wouldn't say similar ability. I think England are a better side, which is why I think they'll scrape it. But in this tournament, they've both played very good football and they've been good to watch. France, USA. That's again probably the closest game of the World Cup that there'll be. Probably the two best women's national team in the world. But I like the USA. I think they've got a good side, good players. Alex Morgan, specifically. She's a very good footballer. Top scorer in the tournament so far. Yes, right, she scored 5 in one game, but she still scored 6 in the tournament. France looking good, though, with their centre-half, who's reported... I'm not going to pretend I know too much about football, women's football, but is reportedly the best in the world. Renard, I think her name is. But I'm going to go with the USA. Or France. At the end of the day, whoever wins this quarterfinal, I think will go on to win the World Cup. France wins the title, they'll go through. USA wins the title.
I could see England winning it though. That's the thing.
USA's got a very good side. They play very good football. I think I'm going to go for the USA. I think they'll beat France tomorrow, and they'll go through. I reckon they might draw England the next round.
By the way, Alex Morgan doesn't have 6; she has 5.
Oh, right. So she scored all her 5 goals in one game.
Yeah.
But still top scorer in the tournament. From what I've seen of her as well, she causes issues for teams anyway.
She's joint top scorer with Australia's Samantha Kerr. But obviously Australia are no longer in, so she'd probably be favourite for the Golden Boot. But with the closest goal scorers to her, a lot of these teams are actually out. Ellen White from England is only a goal behind her, so
it could be a massive quarter-final for
and then
Alex Morgan.
There's 2 Italy players. I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names. We've all seen my pronunciations of some countries who are only 2 goals behind them.
I'll read it out. I'm pretty decent at pronunciations. Well, Christian for Brazil is on 4. Megan Rapinoe is on 3 for the USA. Carly Lloyd is on 3 for the USA. And then you got Aurora Galli on 3 for the USA. And Christiana Girelli, I think is how you pronounce that one, on 3 as well. There's a lot of players on 3 goals, but like you say, a lot of them have been knocked out. There's an interesting bit is if you scroll down a little bit, I think you must be reading it on FOTMob or One Football. But if you scroll down a little bit, Wendy Renard is, do you know who she is?
Not really, no.
Well, if I was going to explain it to you, it would be the women's version of Virgil van Dijk.
Oh.
The sort of way she plays. Admittedly, she scored quite a horrendous own goal against Norway, which I think I showed you. But I think realistically, I think she's probably the best defensive player in the world in the women's football game. She scored once every 130 minutes, and she's only played 390 minutes, so fair play to her. But anyway, so we're both going for USA to win the tournament then.
Yep.
Alright then. So obviously, a bit late to this because it happened ages ago, but the Premier League released their fixtures for the new season. So it was your idea actually, but you came up with the idea of predicting the top 6 teams in each league, like top league in the world, every podcast, and their start and how many points we think they're going to get. So I think that's how it would be a good way to end the podcast, is just going through the top 6 in England in the Premier League and seeing how they'll get on.
Alright, so we'll go 6 to first then. So we'll start with Man United.
We'll do their first 5
not
games.
Where I think they'll finish, like 6 from 3rd, but where they finish last season.
Yeah, just do their first 5 games if you can.
Alright, I don't right now have One Football installed on my phone, so.
Oh, I'll go and get it up.
I'm searching on the internet right now.
I can get it up.
Alright, no, it's right, I found it. It's Man United hosting Chelsea first game this season at Old Trafford.
I don't think they can. I don't think they'll win that. I think it'll be a draw.
I'm going with a draw as well. I would say 1-1. I'll go for that one.
I'm not even going to attempt to guess the score. But all I know is I don't see Man United.
Wolves away. I've actually got Wolves to beat Man United that time.
Yeah, I'd agree there as well. Either that or draw. I'm going to go for draw. I'm going to go for draw just to shake up our opinions.
Home to Crystal Palace, I think they'll edge out a win.
I think that. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. That'll be a win for Man United.
That's their
They should win that
third
comfortably, but we all know it's Man United, so it'll probably be a 1-0 win.
Away to Southampton, I'll go for them to get another win.
Oh yeah, I'd say Southampton. Yeah, even when they were poor under Mourinho or poor under Solskjaer, they could go there and win. So Southampton aren't the best of sides.
I'll go with them to beat Leicester City at Old Trafford.
I'm going to go for a draw against Leicester City. I think they've got a good side, especially with Harry Maguire. They've got a side. So I think from the first five, I think Man United will take this because it's not the easiest of starts. I've got them down to 9 points.
I've got them earning 7 points.
I think Man United will take 9 points from their opening 5.
Now to 5th last season, Arsenal.
Well, I know Arsenal have got an interesting start.
Newcastle away, first game of the season. I'll go with them
they've
to
got
win
to
that.
win that. Yeah, they've got to.
Burnley at home, I'll go with them to win that one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Liverpool away, I've got them to lose that one.
I'm going to go for draw on that one.
Tottenham at home. I've got a draw.
I'm going to go for... Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Draw.
And then the last one, Watford away, I've got another draw.
I'm going to go for a win for Arsenal on that one.
So from Arsenal's first 5 games, I've got 8 points.
I've got them earning 11, so we've obviously got... I think it's because I said they beat Watford. But
yeah, now to 4th. So
Tottenham.
Aston Villa home, I reckon they'll win that one.
Yeah, well, they should anyway.
Man
If they don't,
City away, I'll have them to lose that one.
Yeah.
Newcastle at home, I'll have them to win that.
Yeah.
With Arsenal away, like I said, a draw.
I can't remember what I said. Oh, I said a draw as well, anyway.
And then hosting Crystal Palace, I've got them to win.
Yeah, so I've got them earning 10 points in their opening 5.
I have also got them earning 10 points.
I think we basically predicted the same results.
Chelsea, well, we both said draw with Man United, probably.
Yeah.
Then, I have them to beat Leicester.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Then I have them... I'm going to go for a surprise result. I've got them to draw with Norwich.
No, I've got them to win that.
Then I've got them to beat Sheffield United.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one.
And then I've got them to draw with Wolves away.
Yeah, considering it's away, I'll agree. I've got them earning 11 from opening 5 then.
I've got them earning 9.
Alright, Liverpool next.
If it goes how I think it'll go, then.
And you've got Norwich on the opening day, I can tell you that.
Yep.
Well, this is the day before the
Norwich
official.
at home, so I've got them earning 3 points there.
Yeah.
Southampton away, I've got them earning 3 points.
Yeah, I'll agree for...
I'll just get this out there. All their 5 games, I've got them earning 3 points.
Just tell me who they're playing, so I can make my prediction.
We've done Southampton and Norwich, haven't we?
Yeah.
Arsenal at home, you've got a draw, don't you?
Yeah.
Burnley away.
Yeah, 3 points.
Newcastle at home.
That'll be 3 points. I've got them on 13, 15. So either way, either result for Liverpool would be good. I'll say prefer your outcome of 15 points to my 13. But
yeah.
Alright, Man City then to wrap it off. And I just want to make it clear before we do Man City that these are extremely early predictions. So
yeah,
they're not going to be accurate. We probably will revisit it if we're going to do this podcast long term. Do it later on in the window.
Away to West Ham to start the season off, I reckon.
That's 3 points.
It'll be a tough game, but 3 points, yeah. Tottenham at home, 3 points.
Yeah. I think I got 3 points there, yeah.
Bournemouth away, 3 points. Tough game, but 3 points.
Yeah.
Brighton at home, 3 points. And Norwich City away, another win.
Well, 15 from 15 for the champions. I've got. So if this was to happen in real life, it would be Man City out of these 6. Obviously, we've got the other teams, but out of these 6, if this was the Premier League by itself, Man City would be top for me. Liverpool second. Chelsea and Arsenal tied third. Tottenham 4th. Tottenham would be 5th and Arsenal 6th. Man United 6th. But yeah, I'll butcher that. But...
For me, I think I'd have Arsenal 6. No, Man United 6. I think it's Arsenal 5th, Chelsea 4th, Tottenham 3rd, and Liverpool and Man City joint top.
Yep. Well, I think that's the end of the podcast, then, James.
Yep.
I think we've talked about all we want to talk about. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go?
Well, Joe Arabo's joining Rangers.
Yeah. Well, you can talk about that on your YouTube channel that you just started, Rangers Club 1872.
Yep.
I'll leave a link to it.
I think it's a good signing, but anyway.
I'll link the his channel in the description. And I'll link my channel, Green Army Away, as well, in the description. So if you could check us out, it'd be appreciated. For an episode 2 very soon. And yeah, bye.